Okay, now we'll go to the first one, TOEFL ITP. Who needs TOEFL ITP? Yeah, somebody already said, Maulana already mentioned. Oh, to take scholarship. Okay, yeah, many universities in Indonesia, they still accept TOEFL ITP or require TOEFL ITP. Yeah, or maybe if you want to take graduate and postgraduate programs inside and outside Indonesia, yeah, then of course you can take the TOEFL ITP because it can be one of the requirements. Bisa menjadi salah satu syarat penting untuk bisa mengambil scholarship, melanjutkan kuliah ke jenjang yang lebih tinggi, penting ya. Lalu for government agencies, biasanya kalau mau jadi PNS, you have to take this. Ya, siapa yang mau jadi PNS? Of course, ya banyak ya yang mau jadi PNS ya. Oke, atau mungkin mau kerja di kementerian, ya, if you want to work in the ministries, ya, of course you have to submit this, ya. And then corporate employers, ya, misalkan mau bekerja di perusahaan atau mungkin menjadi manager, supervisor, of course the company will require you to submit either TOEFL, IELTS, or TOEIC, ya. And scholarship donors. Oke, ada pertanyaan sampai sini? Any questions? No? Okay, I will continue then. How about the structure? Just now, Miss Yuli said or asked you whether anybody had ever taken TOEFL. Tapi belum ada ya yang mengambil TOEFL. Gimana sih formulasi tesnya seperti apa? Ya, jadi contohnya seperti ini. Ya, biasanya bukan biasanya selalu dibagi menjadi dua part. Ya, there are 40 question in total. Ada 40 pertanyaan totalnya, but yang paling challenging, yang paling yang paling sulit di sini adalah cuma punya you only have 25 minutes to complete. Cuma 25 menit. Nah, di sini kita bermain strategi, we have to use our time very, very effectively. Jadi kalau misalnya, if you cannot do one question, you have to move on to the next question. Skip it first. Jangan berlama-lama di satu pertanyaan. Mungkin itu salah satu strategi yang akan dipelajari ketika nanti mengambil mungkin preparation atau apa ya. Nah, ini salah satu yang akan dipelajari. Karena you only have 25 minutes. Berarti satu pertanyaan cuma punya 30 sampai 35 detik untuk mengerjakan. Lalu formulasinya adalah structure. Questions 1 through 15 consists of 15 sentences, terbagi dari 15 pertanyaan, in which part of the sentence has been replaced by a blank. Jadi mengisi titik-titik, ada kata yang kosong. Students must choose the answer that completes the sentence in grammatically correct way. That's why identifying bisa mengerti part of speech. Ada yang tahu part of speech itu apa? Fungsi kata. Ya, fungsi kata seperti apakah itu adjective yang kurang, apakah itu verb yang kurang, apakah itu kata kerja atau preposition. Nah, itu bagian penting ya kan kalian harus kuasai. You have to probably acquire ya. Kalau tidak memahami itu akan sulit untuk menjawab pertanyaannya karena usually there are a lot of tricky questions and tricky options. Ya, banyak pertanyaan menjebak. And then the second part is written expression consisting of 25 sentences in which 4 words or groups of words have been underlined. Jadi dalam kalimat itu ada yang digarisbawahi, dicari mana yang salah. You have to find out which is not true, which is not correct. Dan questions get progressively more difficult. Jadi pertanyaan 1 paling gampang, atau pertanyaan 16 paling gampang, semakin ke bawah ya semakin susah, ya semakin menjebak. How is the reading comprehension? The reading section test is made up of 5 academic reading passages. Ya, ada 5 bagian. Each passage is then followed by 10 questions. And passages can be on any subjects a student may study in a US university. Jadi ketika mungkin kalian belajar tentang ini, harus perbanyak kosakata yang berkaitan dengan Amerika. Maybe about the history of America. Maybe about actors, actresses. Maybe about science. Yeah. Maybe about university lecturers or lectures probably in the US. About museums. Jadi banyak topik yang kalian harus baca. Jadi tidak hanya mungkin belajar, tapi harus perbanyak. You have to read a lot. Ya, banyak membaca, banyak menyerap pengetahuan ya tentang apa yang terjadi di Amerika. Maybe it can be about situation there, can be about the latest updates, the latest progress. So you have to read a lot. The questions fall into two categories. First, the reading comprehension question, and second is vocabulary questions. And it is made up of 3 parts. Part A consists. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's already listening. Okay. Any questions about the reading? Ada pertanyaan tentang reading? No? Okay. Sure? Okay. How is the listening comprehension test laid out? So it is made up of 3 parts. Ya, jadi ada 3 bagian. Part A, Part B, Part C. Part A consisting of short conversations. 30 short conversations. And Part B consists of 2 longer conversations, with each followed by 4 questions. And then Part C consists of 3 talks. Each talk is followed once again by 4 questions. And there are 50 multiple choice questions in total. And then students and you can only hear the listening once. Jadi it can be challenging karena sometimes they can speak very fast with their own accent. Jadi ini mungkin yang menjadi challenge-nya. Jadi I suggest that you probably can listen to more English speakers, listen to songs, listen to rap songs probably. Kalau mau bagus dalam listening, coba dengar banyak lagu-lagu rap, because you know the words are spoken very, very fast. And when you can catch all the words, then you have improved your listening skills. Okay. Ini contohnya. The man, Tom is a full-time student. Okay, maybe I can ask somebody to read. Adila, can you help me read the woman's part? And then maybe I can ask, who is the, let me see the list. Maybe Rosie Ahmad, can you be the man? Okay, and then I'd like to ask Stephanie to be the narrator. Okay, can you please read them? Please read those parts, please.
Mister, I'm so sorry. It was blank in my screen. I think I have connection problem.
Oh, really? Oh, no. Okay.
I think it was me. Yeah.
How about the others? Can the others see the screen or not?
I can see one.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I can see it now.
Okay, fine. Okay. You can start now? Okay, man, start first.
Tom is a full-time student and is holding down a full-time job.
He's really burning the candle at both ends.
Narrator. Okay, I'll read it then. What does the woman say about Tom? So what do you recognize from this statement? Tom is a full-time student and is holding down a full-time job. In your textbook you read, blah, 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 blah. He's lighting a candle. But in this case, which part of the statement is being asked? Siapa yang tahu bagian mana yang harus difokuskan? Which part? Is it the man's part or is it the woman's part that you need to pay attention more? Apakah bagian man-nya atau bagian orang keduanya yang harus difokuskan? Ada yang bisa jawab?
The man.
The man's part. But look at the options. Lihat optionnya. Optionnya itu dilihat dari yang kedua atau yang pertama. Yang kedua, right? What is the second line? Apa sih yang terlihat yang dikatakan oleh the lady, the woman?
He's really burning the candles at both ends.
Okay, what is it?
Multitasking.
It's an okay, multitasking. Yes, it's an idiom. Yeah, what is an idiom? Maybe you can say that probably ungkapan. Yeah, sometimes bisa dibilang peribahasa. Okay, idioms, idiomatic expression. Yeah. So how to know about this? Of course, yeah, you need to enrich your vocabulary, your knowledge about idioms. Ya, jadi idioms itu terkadang berbeda sekali dengan arti kenyataannya. So what you have to do, ya, in this kind of question, choose the most different options. Yang mana yang paling berbeda optionnya? Who knows? Siapa yang tahu?
He's doing too much.
He's doing too much.
He's doing too much.
He's doing too much, ya. Okay. That's true, ya. So it doesn't mean that he's lighting a candle, nyalain lilin. Oh, pasti berbeda, ya. Maybe one of the tricks in doing the TOEFL, pilih yang paling berbeda. Okay. He's doing too much. Yeah, so you have to learn a lot about idioms because there will be lots of idiomatic expression questions. Ya, akan banyak pertanyaan mengenai idioms. Ya, misalkan, does anybody know about this, the meaning of this idiom? The test was very easy. I could do it with flying colors. Apa artinya? With flying colors. What does that mean? Saya sudah sebutkan di yang sebelumnya. I could do it with flying colors. What does that mean? Does anybody know?
Great score.
Ya, dengan mudah ya. So very easy ya, with flying colors. I felt down in the dumps when I got the news from my teacher that I didn't pass my exam. Oh my goodness. What does that mean? Ada yang tahu? I felt down in the dumps. What does that mean?
You're really upset.
Upset or probably depressed. Yeah, like felt so sad. Yeah, felt so mungkin tidak berharga. Yeah, right. Invaluable. So yeah, depressed. Okay. Great. Yeah, can anybody give me like some idiomatic expressions? Maybe sentences, please. Anybody?
Over the moon, sir.
What does that mean?
Happy.
Very happy. Can you put it in a sentence?
I just got a new handphone. I'm feeling over the moon.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Okay, very good. Yeah, okay, fantastic. Now we move on to the structure and written expression sample questions. Okay. Sekarang contoh dari structure-nya. Look at number 1. Not until 1949, blah, 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 Canada's 10th province. Yang harus diperhatikan apa? What do you need to find out? Yang paling penting dalam TOEFL ITP, identify the subject and the verb. Can you find the subject in that sentence? Ada yang bisa memberitahu mana sih subjeknya? Tidak ada? How about the verb? Ada verbanya, ada kata kerjanya dalam kalimat itu nomor 1. Until is not a verb, but thank you for answering. Okay, yeah, until is a preposition. Yes, jadi penting sekali nih untuk, it's really important, it's really essential to know apa yang hilang. Probably Canada's 10th province, but let's take a look at the options. Di option tersebut ada hampir seluruhnya ada kata kerja dan ada kata benda, ya proper noun, ya berupa tempat atau nama, ya. Nah, in TOEFL test biasa ada banyak pertanyaan seperti ini. If the sentence starts with not, no, rarely, never, seldom, ya, then you have to invert the structure. Jadi harus menggunakan structure dalam seperti pertanyaan, ya. Tapi sebenarnya itu pernyataan, but it is a statement. Nah, di option mana yang structure-nya seperti pertanyaan? Who can tell me? 1949. Oh, it must have happened in the past. So it should use past tense. Lalu yang kedua yang kalian harus pikirkan, past tense berarti harus menggunakan subject plus verb to. Tapi ini kita harus menggunakan, we have to use the question form. Gimana sih buat pertanyaan dalam bentuk past tense dalam masa lampau itu? Option mana yang paling sesuai? A, B, C, D. Ada yang bisa bantu? Can anybody tell me?
D, maybe.
D. Yes, correct. What's your name? Sorry.
Rosie Ahmed.
Okay. Okay, great job. Yeah, so not until 1949 did Newfoundland become Canada's 10th province. Yes, so the option D is the correct answer. Okay, good job. Jadi seperti itu latihannya nanti ya kan, kalian harus lakukan ya. Jadi ada skills-nya di structure. Biasanya ada 60 skills yang harus dipelajari. Ya, 61 skills. Ya, di listening ada sekitar around 30 skills that you have to learn. Di reading ada sekitar 13 skills that you have to learn. Ya. Okay, let's look at the second question. In making their calculations, institute researchers assumed that the least costly form of energy would be used. It's about parallel structure. Ya. Apabila if there are two clauses, apa itu clauses? A clause always consists of a subject and a verb. Ya. Nah, biasa di clause pertama menggunakan present, pasti di clause keduanya berkaitan dengan yang pertama nih, antara present juga atau future. Ya. Sangat jarang terjadi kalau clause pertama present, tapi yang clause keduanya past tense, past perfect. Ya, jadi kita harus lihat. I gave you that clue. Now, can you tell me which option is wrong? Yang mana yang salah? Take a look at the first clause. Lihat clause yang pertama, subject verb yang pertama. Can anybody tell me the first clause? Yang mana clause pertamanya? Clause pertama, institute researchers assume. Itu yang clause pertama. Clause kedua, pasti dipisahkan ada connector. Connector itu that. Yang kedua, the least costly form of energy would be used. Ada subject, ada verb juga. Form, itu subjeknya. Would be used, verbanya. As I already mentioned before, harus sama. Jadi kalau misalkan present, satunya harus antara present juga atau future. So, which one is wrong? Maybe Miss Yuli will give you a present if you can answer this. Okay. Anyone? I think you have many of you have good basic English, so you should know this. Guys, come on. I'll give you 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Sorry, B is the wrong answer. B or D? Repeat again, please.
I guess it's B.
You guess it's B. Why you think it's B? Kenapa B yang salah? Why? You
Because
can mix in bahasa, it's fine. Mhm.
karena that and D, is it correct or not? I just assume.
Okay,
I
okay.
guess.
Okay, thank you very much for trying. B is already correct, sudah benar. Kenapa? Karena least itu bentuk dari superlative. Karena itu harus selalu ada the least costly. Jadi B sudah correct. Ya, the least is the superlative form. Costly is the adverb. Ya, jadi adjective bisa menjelaskan dari costly ini, ya, the least costly form of energy. Tapi yang kita perlu lihat adalah yang klausa pertama ya, assume. Apakah itu present or past? It's present. Lalu klausa keduanya, would. Itu dalam bentuk present future atau past future? Lampau. Would itu kan untuk future tapi dalam bentuk lampau. Jadi yang salah adalah yang C. Ada yang tahu apa yang benarnya harus memakai apa? What is the correct word for that part, for part C?
Will.
Yes, good job. Ya, will be used. Ya, jadi assume, present, will. Ya. Kalau misalkan yang pertamanya klausa assumed dalam bentuk lampau, baru yang C-nya benar, would be used. Past future, ya, begitu. Jadi nanti belajarnya seperti itu, ya. Okay, let's go to the reading comprehension sample. Contoh ya. Maybe I can ask probably Hilwa. Are you there? Sorry, are you a student? If not, then maybe I can move. Irshadi, probably. Irshadi, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, can you help me read the text?
Oh, the screen is blank.
Oh,
maybe
really?
my signal is.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Maybe I can ask somebody else. Alekia. How do you pronounce your name? Alika? Alika, yeah, probably Alika. Alika, are you there? Alika Sabrina? Or Dini Liana, are you there? Okay, I'll just read it then. Okay.
Sure,
yeah.
sir. Sir, you can
okay.
Choose others.
Okay.
Maybe Lukman. Sorry,
Lukman,
sir.
okay.
Don't know
It's
Dini
okay.
and.
Okay, thank you. Lukman then, probably. Can Lukman help me read the passage?
Hold on. Space with reward.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. How did you know that the answer is reward, Lukman? Why not gift?
Why not gift? Because if it's gift, you don't need to do any work for it. If it's a road, you have to do something.
Okay. Yeah. So, thank you very much, Lukman. Yeah, that's correct. Actually, yeah, your answer is correct. Good job. Why not gift? Kenapa bukan gift? Ya, because gift itu biasanya sesuatu yang nyata. Ya, biasanya. But di sini there is praise, food, money. Ya, jadi biasa pujian, praise itu bentuk dari reward. Jadi kita biarpun gift itu memungkinkan kalau tidak ada praise. Misalnya hanya food or money, maybe gift could be the correct answer. Tapi karena ada praise, ya, yang benar adalah reward. Yang harus diperhatikan dalam reading passage adalah penghubungnya, kata penghubung seperti such as. Biasanya ada keterangan di sampingnya positive reinforcement. Kalau ada kata-kata sulit, di bagian selanjutnya, di frasa selanjutnya, you will find the information, akan ada penjelasannya. Contohnya kah, atau sinonimnya kah, akan disebutkan di dalam passage itu. Jadi itu yang harus diperhatikan. Nah, ini salah satu skillnya seperti you have to pay attention on the upcoming information. Ya, lihat dari contohnya, lihat dari padanan kata selanjutnya. Yang kedua, what is negative reinforcement in line 3? Okay, anybody? Akmal, are you there? Oh, anyone? Fine. I accept anybody. Anyone's question or answer, I mean.
A punishment.
Punishment.
Punishment. How did you know? Because it is stated. Ya, seperti yang tadi saya bilang. Or punishment. Ya, jadi negative reinforcement. Mungkin kita nggak paham tuh apa ya artinya ya. Nah, biasanya dimunculkan or punishment. Jadi kita harus fokus ke kata penghubungnya di situ. Ya, jadi nanti itu ada beberapa skills yang akan dipelajari seperti itu. Ya, oke. Let's move on to TOEFL IBT. TOEFL IBT internet-based test ya measures your ability to use and understand English at the university level, and it evaluates how well you combine your listening, reading, speaking, and writing skills to perform academic tasks. Yeah. The average skills English skill level ranges between intermediate and advanced. Students planning to study at a higher education institution, English language learning program, admissions and exit, scholarship and certification candidates, English language learners who want to track their progress, students and workers applying for visas. Jadi ini beberapa benefit dari mengambil tes TOEFL IBT ya, hampir sama. Tapi biasanya syarat-syaratnya aja harus diperhatikan when you want to apply for a job, when you want to apply for a visa, when you want to apply for a university. Jadi harus diperhatikan requirement-nya apa. Jangan salah mengambil tes ya, seperti itu. Lalu the test layout, I will just say it very, very brief, yeah, maybe because of limited time. You can take a look at yourself. So there's reading, listening, lalu ada break, karena ini kan lama ya, jadi 4 hours and 30 minutes, OMG. Speaking and writing. The reading part consisting of 3 to 5 passages from academic texts, approximately 700 words long, and then 12 until 14 questions per passage. And the testing time around 60 to 100 minutes. And there are around 36 to 70 questions. And the score scale is between 0 and 30. Yeah. Listening consisting of 4 to 6 lectures, some with classroom discussion, each 3 to 5 minutes long, 6 questions each, 2 to 3 conversations, each 3 minutes long, and 5 questions each. And the testing time is between 60 and 90 minutes. And then there are like 34 to 51 questions. They can change depending on the difficulty. Saya soalnya lebih complicated, jumlah pertanyaannya lebih sedikit, ya, tapi lebih susah, ya, lebih sulit. The score scale is 0 and 30, sama. Speaking consisting of 2 tasks. Kenapa saya bilang speaking IBT lebih challenging? Ya, karena ini 2 tasks to express an opinion on a familiar topic. Ya, jadi harus mengekspresikan pendapat tentang topik-topik, sesuatu topik. Lalu ada 4 task lagi to speak based on what is read and listened to. Nah, ini bisa challenging. Kenapa? Jadi 4 bagian ini biasanya you will be given a kind of passage, text, dan cuma diberikan waktu sekitar 30 detik sampai 50 detik untuk membaca. And then you will hear ya a lecture, dan hanya akan diberikan sekitar 50 detik untuk menggabungkan 2 main ideas tersebut dan dijelaskan lagi dalam kurang lebih 1 menit. Kombinasi dari yang didengar dan yang dibaca. Nah, itu biasanya challenging-nya di situ. Ya, it is the most challenging part. Testing time is around 20 minutes. There are 6 tasks. Yeah, and there are like the points, biasa dalam bentuk poin antara 0 dan 4, tapi nanti dikonversi lagi ke antara 0 sampai 30. Ada conversion-nya lagi nanti. Ya. Kemudian yang terakhir ada writing, one task to write based on what is read and listen to, one task to support an opinion on the topic. Ya, consists of 15 minutes and there are 2 tasks. And then poinnya antara 0 dan 5, tapi nanti akan dikonversi lagi ke 30. Total score antara 0 sampai 120. Nah, tadi saya belum sebutkan, biasanya kalau di requirement untuk masuk ke university di S1, biasanya sih harus antara 500 sampai 550. Tapi yang credible university biasanya mereka require 550, apalagi scholarship, kadang lebih tinggi, mungkin 570 untuk TOEFL ITP. Kalau IBT, minimum biasanya itu 80, itu yang sudah paling minimum. Kadang mereka require 90 or 95 kalau mau scholarship ke luar negeri, ya itu minimum scores-nya. Then we go to IELTS. Ya. IELTS, anybody knows what it stands for? Ada yang tahu apa kepanjangan IELTS?
International English Language Testing System.
Yes, good job. What's your name?
Sekar.
Sekar. Okay, good job, Sekar. Yeah. Okay, so IELTS test consists of 2 types, academic and general. Nah, tapi yang biasanya if you want to take a scholarship atau mau melanjut ke kuliah S1, S2, ya, atau S3, harus mengambil yang academic. But if you want to take a visa to go to another country and you need a visa, biasa mereka butuhnya mengambil yang general. Ya, jadi untuk mendapatkan visa, you have to submit IELTS. Ya. So who needs IELTS? Graduate and postgraduate programs inside and outside Indonesia. If you want to apply for a visa, ya, tapi biasanya requirement nggak terlalu tinggi, and you just need to take the general type, ya. Hanya ambil yang type general, jadi lebih mudah. Lalu many universities around the world, ya, biasa mereka perlu IELTS, ya, lebih daripada TOEFL dan TOEIC, ya, biasanya, ya. Tapi again, you have to find out first apa yang dibutuhkan, apa yang diminta oleh university tersebut. Lalu scholarship, ya, ini yang biasanya dibutuhkan bagi students yang mengambil IELTS, ya. Lalu gimana sih test layout-nya? Ada 4 bagian, 4 sections: listening, academic reading, academic writing, and speaking. Di F biasa kita menyediakan yang bagian untuk academic, karena biasa students based on my experience yang mengambil kursus di kelas-kelas IELTS saya itu biasanya students yang mau lulus S1 atau mau mengambil S2, atau mungkin ada juga yang lecturers, dosen-dosen, ada yang pernah dari UI juga mengambil kursus yang mau S3 di luar negeri, mungkin di Belanda, ya, seperti itu. Jadi memang perlu preparation, dan biasanya semakin tinggi degree yang akan diambil, semakin tinggi requirement yang dibutuhkan, yang diminta untuk hasil tes IELTS-nya. Ya, jadi misalnya untuk ngambil S3 biasanya 7.5, untuk ngambil S2 minimum 7, untuk S1 minimum 6.5. Itu biasanya target-targetnya ada. Listening consisting of 4 sections, ada 40 pertanyaan, bentuknya monologues dan dialogues. Academic reading, 3 reading passages, 40 questions. Biasanya berkaitan dengan magazines, journals, books, newspapers, ya, topics could be about general interest. And then academic writing, ada 2 task. Di sini yang first task is about biasanya mendeskripsikan graphs, charts, ya, diagrams, comparing, contrasting, and paraphrasing. So paraphrasing is one of the most essential skills that you need to acquire, ya, ketika belajar untuk mengambil tes IELTS-nya. Karena tidak boleh menuliskan kalimat yang sama dengan pertanyaan dengan jawabannya. Jadi tidak boleh sama, harus di paraphrase, ya. Dan hindari menggunakan kata-kata yang sama dalam tulisan, karena itu akan menurunkan nilai. Second task, try for 2 words. Task 1, describe a diagram or data with your own words. Task 2, discuss about a current issue, present and justify an opinion or analyze and assess a development or problem. Speaking, ya ini lebih gampang dari IBT. Consists of 3 main parts. So there will be someone who will interview you, ya mungkin a native, maybe advanced Indonesian speaker, or maybe interviewer. Ya, jadi face to face, tidak seperti IBT itu direkam, ya direkam. So it will be recorded. Can you imagine talking to a computer and then you want to probably reformulate, mau mungkin mengulang, itu akan sulit, ya kurang fleksibel karena waktunya sedikit, ya diberikan waktu, tidak ada perpanjangan. Nah kalau di IELTS ini ada yang menanyakan, so ada examinernya, and then you can clarify, you can ask again, could you repeat the questions again, please, ya bisa minta pengulangan kalau misalnya kurang paham, lalu examinernya bisa mencoba untuk paraphrase lebih pertanyaannya seperti itu. Ya, part 1 biasa ditanya tentang general questions about yourself, maybe tentang home, your family, your school, your studies, your job. Ya, jadi seperti percakapan dengan teman. Hey, how about your family? How many family members do you have? You often go out with your family members? How often? Yeah. Tell us about your job. Tell us about your studies. What's your favorite subject? Jadi pertanyaan general di part 1. Part 2, you are given a topic and allowed 1 minute to prepare. And part 3 is a discussion of more abstract issues related to the topic in part 2. Jadi part 2 dan part 3 biasanya berkaitan, ya. Part 2 diberikan waktu 1 menit untuk prepare, dan nanti biasanya harus membawa kertas atau berikan kertas, bisa prepare. Mind mapping itu penting supaya nggak lupa yang apa yang mau so that you won't forget what you will be talking about. Ya. Okay, this is the sample of writing test. Ya, contohnya seperti ini. The graphs below give information about commuting inside and outside London in 2009. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Yeah. So you will learn skills about this. Nah, dalam tulisannya tidak boleh dituliskan lagi pertanyaannya. Jadi misalkan ketika dalam menuliskan, oh, the graphs below give the graphs on the answers on the question paper gives information about commuting inside and outside London in 2009. Tidak boleh dituliskan yang sama, harus di paraphrase. Nanti ada tekniknya how to paraphrase the question. Ya, karena kalau dituliskan yang sama akan mengurangi nilai bandingnya. Ya. Lalu ini contoh dari speaking exam part 2-nya. Ya, jadi contohnya biasa akan dikasih kartu consisting of some questions, diberikan waktu 1 menit, and then you can talk about the questions dalam sekitar 2.5 minutes, 2 sampai 2,5 menit, ya. So let's say, what stops you from having a healthy lifestyle? What are the disadvantages of not having a healthy lifestyle? What can you do in order to have a healthier lifestyle? So still about the same topic, healthy lifestyle, tapi different questions. Ya. Okay. Lalu ini contoh readingnya. Readingnya lebih variatif daripada TOEFL ITP. TOEFL ITP only A, B, C, D. You have to choose multiple choice. Tapi di IELTS ada berbagai macam bentuk. Contohnya matching. Matching the heading to the paragraph. True, false, not given. Ya. Jadi ada skills yang memang harus dipelajari. Contohnya mungkin prediction. Predict first from the pictures. Finding the main ideas. Where to locate the main ideas. Lalu setelah finding main ideas, karena paragrafnya bisa banyak, jadi ketika when you see the question, you don't need to read the whole passage again. You just need to go to that particular paragraph. Hanya perlu ke satu paragraf itu yang mungkin mengandung main idea itu. Jadi bisa gimana cara mempersingkat waktu membaca. Karena tetap ada time limit, ya. Dalam IELTS ini. TOEIC, maybe I won't explain like very deeply about TOEIC karena kalian nanti kan masih kuliah dulu ya. Tapi mungkin for general information, is an English language test designed specifically to measure the everyday English skills of people working in an international environment. Hunis TOEIC, of course, many local and international businesses in Indonesia, graduate and postgraduate programs inside and outside Indonesia, and some universities in Indonesia, and corporate employers. Yeah. About the test, I don't need to explain about that, probably next time. Okay, so I think that's all. Sorry for the delay. I think like it's 10 minutes over. Do you have any questions before I end my presentation, my workshop? Ada pertanyaan yang diberikan?
Can I ask something?
Sure.
Maulana dulu deh, Maulana dulu.
Sekar dulu.
Lola ya, oke.
Okay. So, what do you think that we need to study for TOEFL or IELTS? Or maybe you have some tips to study for TOEFL or IELTS?
Yeah, I think there are some tips that I can give to you. Yeah, first, you need to listen to a lot of public speakers. TED Talk, have you ever heard about that? Do you know TED Talk? So if you go to YouTube, you will find a channel called TED Talk. Jadi akan banyak speakers, famous speakersnya itu from different backgrounds. Ada mungkin from actors, actresses, scientists, marketers. They talk about their success, how they achieve their success, yeah, how they have gone through their obstacles before they reach their success, and so on and so on. So I suggest that you listen to those speakers a lot, ya. Lalu ketika mendengarkan, coba try to listen, write down as much information as possible, and make a summary, ya, from what you have heard. Buat summary-nya. Yang kedua, maybe you can mungkin punya buku, ya, buku khusus untuk vocab. Jadi ketika mungkin when you listen to the speaker, try to identify the difficult words. Maybe not only listening to the speakers, mungkin ketika sehari itu mungkin bisa, maybe you can read one passage, satu artikel from a newspaper or magazine. Mungkin Jakarta Post, karena banyak kosakata yang sulit sekali. Atau Jakarta Globe bisa. At least just read one article a day, baca atau nonton satu video, baca lalu list kata-kata sulit yang ditemukan dalam passage tersebut. Setelah ditulis, dibuat listnya, cari definisinya, ya, cari different part of speech-nya. Oh, mungkin yang ditemukan misalkan contohnya procrastination. Misalkan itu kata sulitnya. Cari, oh bentuk kata kerjanya ada nggak ya? Oh ada, procrastinate. Kata bendanya ada nggak ya? Kata adverbnya ada nggak ya? Ditulis, di list. Nah setelah itu coba buat kalimat sendiri. Nah latihan-latihan seperti itu tuh biasanya berguna banget buat TOEFL, ya, ataupun IELTS, karena biasanya harus mencari padanan kata. Setelah cari different part of speech, cari sinonimnya. Apa sih yang bisa kata apa yang punya makna sama dengan procrastination itu. Nah itu yang pertama. Nah kalau untuk speakingnya, lanjut dengan listening tadi. Setelah membuat summary, coba bicara lagi dengan topik yang sama yang sudah dilihat di video itu sambil direkam, tapi tidak boleh baca, ya. Setelah direkam, coba didengarkan lagi, di play lagi gimana how you have delivered topiknya. Apakah sudah cukup akuratkah, ataukah masih terbata-batakah, ataukah masih banyak posisnya kah? Karena kalau di IELTS itu semakin banyak posis yang dibuat akan mengurangi poin seperti itu, ya. Jadi harus berbicara senatural mungkin, tanpa jeda, tanpa pause gitu. Misalnya apalagi kalau panjang itu akan ya menurunkan fluency part, karena dalam IELTS yang dilihatkan untuk speaking itu bagian fluency, grammatical accuracy, lexical yaitu bagian vocabulary-nya, apakah pengulangannya diulang-ulang dengan kata yang sama atau bisa di paraphrase. Ya, itu berguna banget dalam bentuk speakingnya atau writingnya, itu penting ya dipakai. Atau bagian coherence atau cohesion, how you connect those ideas, apakah organized enough ide-idenya yang diberikan, apakah menggunakan first, then, after that, next, finally, moreover, furthermore. On the contrary, in contrast, harus menggunakan variasi yang berbeda-beda. Jadi jangan menggunakan n, but. Nah, itu akan nilainya pasti biasanya sih nggak nyampe 6,5. Kalau misalkan terlalu simple, kalimat-kalimat hanya mungkin kalimat simple, sedikit menggunakan complex structures, banyak kesalahan grammar, terlalu banyak menggunakan Remember, dalam misalkan IELTS ini, tidak harus seperti British accent. Tidak, yang penting jelas artikulasinya, bisa dipahami, tidak membuat pendengarnya itu bingung. Ini apa ya? Tadi ngomongnya apa ya? Not like that. Ya, tidak seperti itu. Jadi yang penting jelas artikulasi. Banyak juga orang Indian people yang dengan accent mereka yang khas bisa mendapat 8. Ya, karena mereka bisa ibaratnya membuat pendengarnya, examinernya mengerti apa yang dibicarakan. Fluent enough. Vocabnya juga bagus, sophisticated. Idenya organized enough. Seperti itu. Mudah-mudahan jelas ya.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Michael.
Thank you. Just one more question, probably. Mungkin kalau ada.
Can I ask?
May I?
Yeah, okay. Whoever, up to you.
Okay.
Yes, Maulana.
But actually, I have a question. I still didn't understand about TOEFL ITP and the differences between TOEFL IBT and ITP. Can you explain more about the TOEFL IBT and ITP so that I can understand much more?
Which part? Do you mean like the test layout or what?
The general one.
The general one, okay.
And then for the IELTS writing test one, it has to be describing diagrams, but we cannot put our opinion. Why is it like that?
Okay, right. Yeah, I'll go to your first question. Yeah, the difference between TOEFL ITP and IBT. Yeah, is that?
Yes.
Yeah, TOEFL ITP only consists of 3 skills. The first one yang akan dites itu structure and written expression. Contohnya tadi sudah ya, jadi you have to identify mana yang salah, you have to fill in the missing words, ya. Itu TOEFL ITP. Di IBT, you don't have it. Tidak ada yang seperti itu tesnya. Kemudian 2 lainnya sama, ada reading, ada listening. Ya, but untuk di bagian IBT-nya itu ada 1 lagi tambahan skill, yaitu writing. Ya, jadi mungkin saya bisa balik ke sini ya. Terlihat tidak ininya, layarnya, TOEFL IBT? Can you see the screen, Maulana? Ya, jadi ini contoh-contohnya untuk bentuk bentuk pertanyaannya. Ya, readingnya ada 3-5 passages. Kemudian dari lebih panjang-panjang, 700 words, ya, 700 words long. Lalu ada 12-14 pertanyaan per passage. Jadi total biasa maksimal tuh 5 passages, panjang-panjang, 700 words, ya, 700 words. Lalu sekitar 12-14 pertanyaan per passage. Itu di readingnya, ya. Listeningnya ada 4 until 6 lectures, ya, some classroom discussion. 3 to 5 minutes long, 6 questions each, ya. 2 until 3 conversations, and each 3 minutes long, 5 questions each. Jadi ada 4 maksimal 6 lecture yang harus didengarkan, kurang lebih 3-5 menit setiap lecture-nya. Lalu ada 6 pertanyaan untuk masing-masing lecture. Kemudian ada lagi 2-3 conversation, ya, bukan lecture. Jadi lecture itu kan cuma 1 arah. Kalau conversation itu 2 arah, ya. Lalu masing-masing conversation itu kurang lebih 3 menit, dan untuk masing-masing conversation itu ada 5 pertanyaan. Jadi total sekitar 34-51 pertanyaan. Untuk speaking, seperti tadi saya bilang, 2 pertanyaan, 2 task untuk mengekspresikan pendapat, ya, to express opinion. Lalu 4 task untuk menggabungkan ide apa yang dibaca, ya, nanti you will get like a passage to read, lalu akan mendengar lecture, lalu digabungkan idenya, and you have to say the summary in 1 minute. Itu di speakingnya. Di writing, one task to write based on what is read and listen to. Jadi sama seperti speaking, you will read a passage, you will see the text, ya, lalu mendengarkan lecture, digabungkan, dibuat summary-nya. Lalu satu task lagi tentang support and opinion on the topic. Jadi memberikan your own opinion on the topic. Itu TOEFL IBT. While in TOEFL ITP tidak ada writing, ya. Jadi ya, jadi misalnya structure-nya 40 questions, ya, ada 25 pertanyaan. Ya, jadi dibagi 2 bagian. 1 sampai 15, biasa pertanyaan tentang mengisi yang kosong. So you have to choose the opsi mana yang paling sesuai untuk mengisi kata yang hilang atau frasa yang hilang. Ya. Kemudian pertanyaan 16 sampai 40 mencari yang salah. So you have to find the wrong answers. Seperti itu. Mana yang salah. Jadi identifying the part of speech, mencari tahu part of speech atau fungsi kata yang hilang itu penting sekali. Ya, jadi itu penting. Kemudian readingnya berbeda dengan IBT. Ya, jadi di sini hanya ada 5 academic reading passages. Masing-masing reading passages itu ada 10 pertanyaan, jadi total ada 50 pertanyaan. Ya, biasanya yang kesulitannya di dalam pengerjaan ini adalah time management, karena you will only have 50 minutes, cuma punya 50 menit untuk mengerjakan 50 pertanyaan. Jadi TOEFL ITP challenges-nya itu sebetulnya adalah bagian pertamanya, paling pentingnya adalah pengaturan waktu. Karena kadang you will run out of time kalau tidak bisa efektif membaca, mencari main idea. Kadang-kadang kalau kita membacakan, lihat lagi semuanya dari atas sampai habis. Nah, nanti harus dipelajari gimana sih caranya supaya membaca dengan efektif. Jadi tidak perlu melihat seluruh paragraf lagi, misalkan seperti itu. Itu bagian readingnya. Listeningnya, kalau di TOEFL ITP ada 3 parts. Part A consisting of 30 short conversations. Jadi seperti yang tadi, 2 orang bercakap-cakap, but you have to pay attention on the second line, speaker yang kedua. Part B lebih panjang conversation-nya, dan masing-masing conversation ada 4 pertanyaan, jadi total 8. Part C consists of 3 talks, lebih panjang lagi. Each talk is followed again by 4 questions. Masing-masing talk 4 pertanyaan. Jadi part C itu yang paling challenging karena paling panjang, ya. In total there are 50 multiple choice questions. Jadi semuanya di dalam TOEFL ITP itu ada multiple choice. Ya. Okay. Until this part, is it clear, Maulana?
Yes.
Okay. Second question about IELTS, yeah? Can you repeat your question again about IELTS?
The question is about
the writing
the
task
writing
1.
task 1. This is describing a diagram. But I have, what is it like? I've learned something before. When we describe this diagram, we cannot put our opinion in our description. Is it like that or just?
Yeah, you cannot put your own opinion. Jadi memang you just need to describe based on the diagrams you see. Jadi tidak boleh, you cannot put your own prediction, your own thought about the diagram. I think the trend will continue to rise. Jadi seperti misalkan pendapat seperti itu tidak bisa. Jadi misalkan you see the first trend over here, bisa terlihat ya trendnya ya. Kan ada penurunan tuh. I think in the next upcoming years the trend will show a decrease because it has been decreasing dramatically since the first year, example. Itu tidak bisa. Jadi deskripsi saja apa yang sudah terlihat sampai di jangka waktu yang ada di diagram tersebut. You cannot give your own opinion on this. You can give your opinion in the writing task too.
So it's basically about the fact. Everything is about.
It's about the fact. Yeah, comparing, contrasting. Yeah, So you need to highlight mana tren yang paling obvious, mana yang paling dramatic, yang antara bagan 1 dan bagan 2, mana yang paling perubahannya paling besar, compare, contrast, dan mana yang bagiannya paling perubahannya paling kecil, ya. Dan mungkin ada yang satu lagi yang stagnan, yang di tengah. Nah itu yang those things you have to highlight in your writing. Seperti itu.
Alright, thank you so much, Mr.
Okay. So unfortunately, because of the limited time, I have to end my workshop. Thank you very much for your enthusiasm, everyone. Okay, sorry, I will say goodbye to everyone. Thank you, Miss Yuli.
Thank you so much, sir.
I have to leave this room because I have a class in 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so thank you very much, guys. I hope I
Thank
can see you
you.
again one day at the F probably. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Gallen.
Thank you.
and Ms.
You're
Lia. Thank you,
welcome.
Julian. Bye.
Okay, I'm gonna return to Adila.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss.
Alright.
Let's close this meeting by saying Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin.
District 5 3 times. Astagfirullahaladzim.
Astagfirullahaladzim.
And doa kepada majlis.
Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Okay, thank you so much all.
Very much for your kind attention and participation, everyone. Make sure to implement what we have learned today.
Hopefully you can get the benefit, ya, inshallah. Okay, yo, see you around.